Hey you guys, it's Emma. Today I have for you 15 fall activities to do with your child. I'm going to walk you through these. They're all super fun and exciting, just great ways to connect with your little ones. Over here, I'm all about creating meaningful connection, and these activities are just that. So let's jump into it. So the first one, super simple. You don't need anything. Just going on a nature walk with our child and allowing them to lead this walk as long as they are being safe. I liked to go to this little area, a walking path by our house where it's not by any busy roads on either side. It's just some of the woods. And so if they venture off a little bit off of the path, they are still very safe. Going on a nature walk is just a really great opportunity to see and observe your child and what they notice and what they get excited about. I anticipate lots of nature walks in our fall season. The second activity is potato stamping. You could also do this with apples or corn pieces, and you simply just cut potatoes in half. You could cut certain designs out of them if you would like to. I just kept it simple and used the halves of the potatoes. And then give your child a little bit of paint. I liked to just roll out a big roll of paper on our kitchen table, and then they were able to not be so worried about making a mess, and I just taped it down under the table, and that was really fun. I had my nephews over this day helping me out, and they just all really enjoyed this activity. A more Montessori inspired activity is transfer work, and you can do transfer work with a lot of different materials. I found these little pumpkins from the dollar store, and I have 12 of them. I used half of an egg carton, the part where the eggs rest in, and I just cut the other part off of it, and using either their fingers or a small little tongs, they can transfer the pumpkins into the egg carton. This would also be really great to do with pine cones. You could find pine cones on your nature walk and come back and use them in this transfer activity. There's a lot of different ways you can do this work, and it's really engaging for younger toddlers. Next up is pumpkin scrubbing. This is a fun one. You can do it outside if the weather's nice, which is what I will probably always do just because it can be a little messy. And so just fill a bucket of water with a little bit of soap if you would like, and find a pumpkin. The bigger the better. This was one that we grew in our garden, which is really fun, and just get some scrub brushes. I picked these ones up from the dollar store. You could use any size brush. Show your toddler how to scrub the potato, or not the potato, the pumpkin. You can do this with potatoes as well. We do a lot of that in the kitchen this time of year, making mashed potatoes, but this pumpkin scrubbing is a fun one. And when you're done scrubbing the pumpkin, you can turn that into another activity. And so if you have some golf tees laying around, you can poke those into your pumpkin in various places, and then find a hammer or a mallet that goes with some toy. Usually those ball toys have it where you have to hammer the balls down and they go down the ramp. I'll also put a link to one in the description box below where you could just buy the hammer if you wanted to. I used one from a different toy that we had. And then you can have your child hammer in the golf tees into the pumpkin. And this is really good like hand-eye coordination as they use the hammer to hit the golf tee. Again, my boys are almost 2 and really caught on to this and enjoyed it. But when I had my nephews over, they also enjoyed hammering those tees into the pumpkin. So I think it could span for a lot of ages. While you're out on your nature walk, you could collect leaves that have either fallen or beautiful leaves on the trees, and bring a bag with you or a little basket or tray and collect those leaves. And then when you get home, you could have your child either do leaf tearing or leaf cutting. And so obviously for a younger child, tearing would maybe be more efficient. That was probably where my boys were at. However, I did give them these scissors. They weren't catching on quite at this point, which is just fine. We'll just keep trying. These scissors are kind of cool though. They're like a squeeze scissor, and so if you squeeze it, There's no little finger holes for them to put in, so it's a little bit easier of a beginning scissors. I'll also link those in the description box below. I also have all of these activities woven into multiple different blog posts that I wrote for the fall season, among other ideas. So I will be putting all of those resources down in the description box below for you. If you're looking for more Montessori inspired activities, just content, all of those things, resources, be sure to hop on my email list. I am creating 2 new blog posts every single week, and you will get those sent straight to your inbox every Friday, along with my video for the week. I will put that link in the description box as well. Okay, so leaf tearing or cutting would be a great one. Even like crinkling, if they are dried leaves that have been fallen from the trees for quite a while, you could just have them like crumple the leaves, and that would be a really great sensory experience for children. Once you have cleaned the pumpkin and then hammered golf tees into it, you could continue to hammer golf tees into it for quite some time, but eventually it will get kind of rotten. So before it gets to that point, you would want to cut open the pumpkin and then pull out all of the seeds, and then you could even take those seeds and roast them. That would be a great practical life activity to separate the guts from the seeds. Also such a good sensory experience for our children. You might notice that your child doesn't like that feeling, and that's okay. Maybe they really do like that feeling of the slimy, squishy pumpkin guts. One of my boys liked it more than the other, but it was still a great thing to just offer them, of pulling the pumpkin seeds out from the pumpkin. For an older child, they could even then carve those pumpkins into like jack-o'-lantern pumpkins for your front step. A really great gross motor fall activity is raking leaves. There's an abundance of leaves falling from the trees, at least where we live, and it's just a great way to get outside and rake. I'll link a child-size rake in the description box below if you are in need of one of those. I think it's really important to be able to offer our children appropriately sized tools that they can do these kinds of activities with. If you are looking for ways to get out of the house this fall season and go out and do something fun or exciting, be sure to check out a apple orchard and have your child practice picking from trees. That would be so fun for them. Going to a pumpkin patch, picking up pumpkins there. Really great heavy work opportunities for just like carrying pumpkins. Actually, for both of those, carrying bags of apples, all of that is going to be such good work for them. And you might even find a corn maze along the way and some yummy treats while you're out and about. So apple orchards, pumpkin patches are great fall activities for the whole family. This one's kind of fun and simple and has a lot of opportunities for making it more challenging for your child as they get older. So on a basic level, it's just smelling bottles. And so I've used old spice containers or spice containers that I've used all the spices up, clean them, and then put different scents in them. So I did cinnamon sticks in one. If you want to do a spice like, say, clove, you could, if it's a ground spice, you could just take a cotton ball and open the cotton ball up and sprinkle the seasoning in there, and then roll it back up and put that in there so that they're not breathing in any loose spices like that, and then have them open it and smell it. And I like to keep the little shaker top on the bottle so that they can't dump anything out. For an older child, you could make matching sets. So you could have 2 cinnamons, 2 cloves, 2 pumpkin pie spice bottles, and then they could be doing a smelling matching where they smell the different bottles and figure out which ones are the same. For the cinnamon one, maybe you'd want to actually just sprinkle that into the cotton so that they all look the same. There are so many great opportunities in the fall time for baking and cooking lovely meals, soups, and things like that. Some things that I have on my list to bake with my little boys is pumpkin bread. Maybe a pie would be really fun. Apple crisp. Those are things that I'm craving this time of the year, and I'm really excited to enjoy with them and take slow days of just being in the kitchen, preparing those delicious fall treats with them. We are already down to the last 2 fall activities. One is a leaf drop, and this is a DIY activity that I did. So I just used an old coffee can, and then I took the lid of it and I cut a hole in the top of it. Not a hole, actually more of like a slit that would be big enough for my little leaves. So you could use real leaves for this activity. I picked up these fake leaves from the dollar store, and those have worked really well, and then my house doesn't get as messy as it would with real leaves. But you could certainly do this with real leaves, and then you can just show your child how to put them in there and drop them into the container, and then taking the lid off, pulling them out, and doing it again. There's a lot of great opportunities for repetition. All right, the last activity is a fall themed Play-Doh kit. And this is something really easy that you can put together. I like to make homemade Play-Doh just because I can control the ingredients. I actually have this Play-Doh recipe in a blog post. I will put it in the description box below. And for this, you just need flour, salt, cream of tartar, water, oil, and some food coloring. But there's a twist to this Play-Doh recipe because you will be able to season it to make it smell. And when I had my nephews over, they're like, this smells so good. This smells like apple pie or pumpkin pie or cinnamon. And so I have those recipes for all of those flavors in that blog post. So be sure to check it out. It's a really fun way to just make Play-Doh a little more interesting and exciting, as well as adding fun cookie cutters and some seasonal press-ins. Just a really great way to make Play-Doh more fun, more engaging, and having a little kit makes it super easy to just have everything in one place. Provide a small, manageable amount for your child. I don't need 20 different colors of Play-Doh. I can just offer 2 or 3 different containers of it, and that is plenty for my boys. So a fall Play-Doh kit is a great thing to have around for just all of those cozy moments at home. Well, you guys, those are my 15 fall activities for your child. I hope you get a chance to try some of them out. Let me know what your favorites are in the comment section below. Be sure to check out all of the resources that I've linked for you down below. And I hope to see you next Friday for another Montessori inspired video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.